Fine. So in our last class, what we have been seeing about the various techniques about how we can take the trace. Okay, so the trace, for taking the trace, we have seen there are many tools. Like, so there were some system wide tool. So for the system wide tool, we are having the option like, the system wide tool. When we tell about the system wide, meaning means you can check across all the application server, check across all the application server. So in a system, one system can have multiple application server, right? One system, if you want to check all the application server, you can go SM50 one, and there you can check all the available application server. Here this is a demo system, only one application server is there. You can check in your actual system, in your actual productive system, or in your test system. Generally in productive system there will be so many, like 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, depends on the organization size, it will be their number of application server. So if you are talking about the system wide, that means if we're going to enable this ST03, we'll be having one option over there to select all the application server, to select all the application server. That's why these tool are known as the system wide tool. Means across the system, across all the application server, you can enable this particular, trace. Okay, so these are the different tools. So ST03, right? STAD, stat, this is the system workload. This is for the statistical analysis. Sorry, this is for statistical analysis. This is for system workload, and this ST04 is for the database analyzer. Okay, so if you want to analyze the database, for that purpose we are having this ST04. Then ST05 SQL trace, we have also seen in our last class. SE30 or SAT, right? SAT is the new transaction for SE30. Okay, and ST12 is the very new transaction. Okay, it came around 5 or 6 years back, I believe, or even around 2011 or 12, like that. It is the combination of ST05 and SAT. This ST12 is the combination of ST05 and SAT. Both the functionality can be, even you can check the STAD. Okay, so statistical analysis, statistical analysis. Okay, and here the system workload, system database analysis. Okay, and the ST03 is for the workload analysis. Okay, workload analysis. So because this course is oriented towards the performance optimization, that's why we are installing the HANA, and that's why we are learning about the HANA, and that's why the organization is moving towards the HANA. So how to achieve the performance, that's why we are learning all the tools available for in the SAP, where we can go and analyze about the existing program, we can analyze about the database performance. Okay, so till now we have seen ST03, STAD, ST04, ST05 and SAT. All these five we have seen in detail in our last class. You can go through the last class videos and you can understand over there. Today we are going to discuss about the ST12. Okay, this is the combination of ST05 and SAT, and then again this statistical analysis, stat related analysis also you can check. This is very important tool. As ABAP here, I think I have written already. You can see there that it's here different tools. Okay, different tools for analyzing the workload. Okay, we are having, this is the different tool, and here in the next class we have to, in the today's class, this is our agenda which we are going to cover. So first ST12, let's go and see how we can use the ST12 efficiently. Okay, go to ST12. So uh, so ST stands for single transaction. If you want to know generally, like this ST means single transaction. If you want to analyze the single transaction, it is a very helpful tool. This ST05 is also, the single transaction analysis only. Okay, the ST05 which is here, this is for the single transaction. If you want to perform the SQL trace for a single transaction, you can do here also. User wise also you can do, but generally people tell like a single transaction, but there is nothing called single transaction. If you can perform the multiple transaction over there. So I will show you. This is the this is the screen over here we are having, and the comment you can provide this comment here. You can see there are multiple option over here. We are having the multiple option. Okay, so one option here, you can see this is the trace on or off. If you want to on and off the trace, you can come over here, and this is, you can see there are the multiple option, right? There are multiple option here can be seen over user or task. If you want to, this is the first option. By default it will open for the first option. Okay, for the trace, here in this option you can on the trace or you can off the trace under this tab. This is particularly a tab. Okay, like this it is a tab. Okay, so this trace on or off tab is enabled now. And if you want to take the trace for a particular user, so suppose here I want to take the trace for my user, or for different user also you can take the trace. So this is my user over here, and you can give the comment, for example some test or some demo. So I'm just giving some text over here, right? And here you can see that you have, this is also a system wide tool. Okay, you can select all the application server which you have available over here. If you will be having the multiple application server, one option at first will come as a all application server. Just you have to select the all. Okay, here only one application server we are having, that's why it is coming this option. So whether you select one or all, there is same thing in both the cases, right? Here you can see username. We can give the task type, what kind of task type you want to trace. So we are having the different task type, right? We know that we are having, mainly 5 types of work processes, right? So that uh, dialog, batch, update, right? uh, so those work processes related task type also we have defined. So dialog task type, so whatever we are taking on the screen, that is the dialog task type. This is the batch job. Batch job means if we are going to SM37, right, you will be having multiple jobs scheduled over here, correct? So here you can see that multiple job here you can see in your productive environment. So if you want to trace some job, only job if you want to trace, you can go for this. Update, if you want to check, if you want to trace only the update of the database, you can select this option. Okay, this is for the HTTP request, for the RFC kind of stuff. This is again for the like suppose if you want to send some email or something like that, SMTP request. This is for the shared object memory, SHMMM, right? So generally what we do, we use this star. We don't go for any particular, but if you want to go for any specific task, you can go for the specific task. Generally we go for this any task type, and we click on this start trace button. Okay, so once you click on this start trace, what it will do, that it will start tracing. Okay, so whatever with this user, any activity will be taken place. For example, if I'm going to SE38, okay, and here I'm going to run this program. So when I came from here, I place over SE38 and press enter, that has been also captured because my trace is on. And if I'm going to run this particular program, this will be also captured. Okay, this execution will be also captured. Okay, now I want to end the trace. So just end the trace. You can see these many trace got collected. Okay, click on this OK button, and here you can see the trace is getting collected asynchronously. Okay, that's why at this point of time, just it's preparing the data, and now it got prepared. In case of a large program, it will take some time because it started asynchronously. Okay, that's why it may take some time. And once you get the time, you can see that with this user ABAP HANA 03, and for today's date, the four you know the four number you are having, four trace file got generated. Okay, four trace file got generated. Now how to check this file? Okay, so if you want to check one by one, select this particular line, this file. This is a file, four files you are having, one, second, four, third, and fourth. If you want to analyze the fourth file, select this one, and you have the multiple option over here, you can see. Okay, if you want to trace from here also, here you can select, just you can see it is pointing over here, or double click over here, it will be selected. But here it will be little difficult while navigating. So from here also you can click on this, just you can put the cursor over here and click on this ABAP trace, performance trace, and SQL summary, statistical records. Right, this is the ST edit transaction, a statistical this ST03 statistical records. Right, so ABAP trace, performance traces, SQL summary, and this from here also it can be seen. But if you go on to this full screen, it will be better for your navigation point of view. Okay, it will be very easy from here, and screen is bigger. Okay, so select the single one. Right, there you will not be able to select the single one. Right, so here just select the single one and click on this ABAP trace. You can see that particular file, these many you know these many data has been collected. If you want to check if some Z program, just you can put the filter on this, click on this filter button. Okay, and give the Z star over here, so it will, there is no file with Z star, there is no program with Z star. Right, it will be somewhere there, because Z also we have executed, so three remaining we are having. So generally we don't go one by one. What we do, that we select everything, select in one go. Okay, drag and drop, and we can go to this this particular option, merge or combine selected ABAP trace. Click on this option. What it will do, that it will merge and combine every traces. Okay, click on this button, and it will select the first option or second option, both is okay, no problem, anyone can be selected over here. Click on this OK button, and here all the traces got combined, and now you'll be having the better view over here. And you can see that this my program is coming over here, which I have executed, ZMB03 April demo 23. This was the program which I have executed. You can see ZMB03 April demo. So it got captured. And now if you want to drill down, like how the execution flow has been happened over here, you can easily check it over here. You can see the time, total time, how much it has taken for this particular DIN Pro. The total time is this. But generally we don't go for this gross and all. What in practical we do, just we go over here and sort with this descending order, so that my Y or Z program will come at the upper side, upper portion. Right, and then we go for this net. Okay, and then uh, you just click on this button, and it will tell you which program is going to take most of the time. If you have some multiple G program, right, so first what you can do, put the filter. It's better to put the filter. Okay, so you can put the filter over here, and then you can come over on the net. Just remember this net one, you don't have to go on the gross and all, because this gross and all is for the total accumulative purpose. If you want to check for a particular program how much net time it has been taken, so just you want to check which are suppose you have a package, some Z test package, or you have some Z package which is a productive package. In that you have several program, like suppose if you have 100 programs over there and you want to check in that particular package which program is going to take most of the time. So what you can do, maybe you can run all the program, all the 100 programs, right, which is not possible to run all the 100 programs, but I will tell you what method you can use for that particular purpose, right, to identify which program you have to first consider, right. So that we will see. But here single program you can check over here, the single program which particular statement or block is taking most time. So you can see this particular 3214935, this perform selection screen is taking the most time. But here you cannot do anything. If you double click over here, you know this uh, this selection, here you cannot optimize anything. This is something here looking like a standard percentage, percent selection screen, right. Here just we are going to write this statement, so here we cannot do anything, right. But on the database side, if you want to see the select mara we are having over here, and it is also taking quite more time, 31694. So once we can go over here and we can check if we can optimize something over here, right. So here we can come and we can check if it is possible to optimize, like we can check the where condition, we can check if we can give the primary key in the where condition, right, like that stuff it can be checked. If it is some, if there is some possibility, we can go and we can optimize, right. So this is how it will help. Here there is no here there is no possibility of optimization. What we can do the maximum, that on this mtart we can create an index. But in HANA, if you are having the HANA, it is not recommended to create every time, like if you feel that there is some performance problem or something like that, because already on each table automatically index gets created. If you are having the HANA database, right, automatically on each field index get created if you have the HANA database, so you don't have to bother about that. So it is fine. Here there is no scope, but this is how you can go and check where you can where you can optimize your code. So it will tell you some, so top here, sorry, here top 10 you can consider. From here to here you can check, and you can go and check where if you, so if you have large program, you will get this list little bigger, you will get this list little bigger, and there you can check which are the statement which is taking how much time, and how we can and you can go and you can check the, suppose some select statement is going to take some more time, so here it will tell you the select, like select, it will come select, multiple select will come if you have multiple select, and you can go and you can check the select which is taking multiple time. So this is one way. Here you can see the database is taking maximum time 67.9%. So maybe you can analyze over here why the database taking is maximum time. And at application server, that means the ABAP layer is taking the 28.5% time, right. And total in together 100%, system is taking only 3.6% time. So from here you can check, right. Just go back, and you have another option also called the performance trace. This is the ABAP trace. From ABAP trace also you can get a lot of clue. So generally ABAP trace we use, suppose in the support project there is so much use of this ABAP trace. Suppose if you have some standard transaction slash o mm02 or mm03, something like that, and here you are coming over here, and while saving the data in this mm02, okay, your functional is getting some error. Here there is no problem, but your functional is getting some error, okay, and that is some custom error, or that is a error which you are thinking that this can come from the custom program. So now you want to check what is the custom program get called when you are clicking on this mm02, because there will be so many baddie, there will be so many customer exit, right. There can be multiple baddie, there can be multiple customer exit, new baddie, like enhancement spot will be there, and everything will be the custom over there, right. Mostly will be the, so we just want to identify the custom program. So this ABAP trace is going to be very helpful from that perspective. Okay, so you can enable the trace as I have shown you. Okay, so I will just show you this one. This will be very helpful. Go here, and what I will do that, just go back and enable the trace on this my ID, because from my ID only I'm going to do these things. Click on this start trace, and maybe what I can do that, here you can write mm02 custom enhancement trace, custom enhancement. So I want to find the custom development. Click on this start trace, click on this OK button. Now come over here and change some data, or just click on this save button, because there is no data got changed over here. Do some change so that it will execute properly. Test custom enhancement. So some data need to be changed. Click on the save button. Okay, you can see it has taken some time and it is telling that it got changed. Come over here and stop the trace. Once you stop, you can see these many data got collected. Select everything from here. Click on this OK button. Okay, go to this full screen, and here you can see it's collecting the trace asynchronously. Okay, click on this, come over, and now just select these two, or everything you can select together, that's fine. Click on this button, merge or combine trace. Click on this OK, and come over here, and if you want to see the G enhancement, right, either you sort it with descending, you can see that this is the G enhancement. Okay, ZCLIM Gayatri, ZCLIM Gayatri, these are the body which got called when I clicked on this mm02. So by this way you can find the custom body which is there. This is also one way, this is also one way generally we use. Okay, though there are many enhancement has come in the new debugger, there are many functionality has come in new debugger. Directly from there you can find out, that we will cover in the debugging, debugging chapter. Fine, so here that I generally cover in the ABAP section, so maybe I will share you if you are interested to learn the advanced debugging technique. Okay, fine, so come over here, and this is how you can find the custom enhancement, and you can go over there and you can put the breakpoint. And now, you know and now if you run the transaction once again, it will stop over there, because that body or new body is going to get called. Okay, so maybe I will show you once. Come over here, go here, come here, and this is one body got called. Double click over here, and you can see that body implementation is there. This G class is there, right? Put the breakpoint over here, and now if you are going to mm02, okay, come over here, press enter, basic data and all, just do some change, it is required, otherwise it will not trigger. And you can see that it got triggered over here. So this is how you can try. So this is one aspect of ST12. This can be earlier used to be done with the AC30 also, or SAT transaction also, right? Now we also you can do, there is no problem, but we are having the better transaction ST12 now. Okay, just go back. uh Fine, so this is what we can do. This is the user or task, if you want to check the trace user wise or task wise, you can come over here and you can do. Now the work process, come over here, we know that we have the multiple work processes, right? Dialog work process, correct? A spool work process, background work process, right? So similarly we are having some update work process. So generally 5 work processes we are having, and those 5 work processes, we can enable the trace for those processes. So here, this is the server, this is the local server, you can select for this local server, and you have the multiple option performance traces. SQL, if you want to take RFC, NQ trace, this is for database log. Okay, RFC, this RFC already. SQL, we know. With internal tables, you want to select with internal tables, yes, this is fine. Here the clock type auto, fine. And here the different option you are having. I have not used this work process. Mostly people use this user task and current mode. Okay, and sometimes they can come for this schedule also. This is also very effective. I will let you know. This current mode is very, very frequently used. Suppose if you want to trace your mm02 transaction, right? So you don't have to, go here and enable the trace and then you have to go to mm02, right? If you're going to enable the trace for this ABAP HANA 03, if apart from this, whatever activity for along with, if you want to trace mm03 only, right? So just go to this mm03 and come over here, and like that we can trace. But in between, suppose if you wanted to do something else, for example, if you want to go to vk12 and you want to change some condition record or some stuff like that, okay, so it will capture everything because you have enabled the trace at the user type level, right? At the user level you have enabled the trace. But your requirement, you want to get only the mm02, even you are going to take, you means you don't want to take the multiple things, take together in one go in the same session. In the current mode only you want to execute. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to the current mode over here, and from here itself you can go to the transaction mm02. If you want to take the trace or whatever program you want to take the trace, you can give the program name over here and click on this execute button. That's it. Once you click on this execute, it will automatically start the trace. Okay, click on this execute, press enter, your trace has been started now. Okay, so here already in some another transaction I have locked this particular material, that's why it is telling, giving me this error. And now come over here, press enter now, and you can see another session I have just closed. That's why it's working now. And you can see that I'm just going to, change something and press, click on the save button. Okay, because I have put the breakpoint, it has come over here and now come. And you can see that once it got finished, automatically it has come to this particular point where your trace got collected. You can see that trace finished, a sync trace collected started, right? Your trace is now finished, a synchronous trace collection started. Okay, means trace is now finished and trace is getting, you know collected asynchronously, right? So you can come over here and you can go to this full screen, and this is the mm02 custom enhancement, the latest one which I have just taken. And here also you can come and you can use this option or simply ABAP trace, because we don't have multiple file over here. And if you come and you can see that the same you were able to see. So in the current mode, generally most of the time in the real time, we will be using this option. Okay, which option? One is this user task, and this is also very powerful. And this current mode, mostly this current mode option we will be using in real time. So it will consider your transaction only, it will consider your mode only. So you click on this execute button if you have come, and if you're going to open some another screen, it will not capture those. Okay, it will not capture those. For example, go to AC38, and if going to run this 21 over here, this is in different session. So this particular, this particular will not be, I'm just running this one, and you can see that I have run, but it will not be captured. What will be captured? Only the material will be captured. Okay, because the mm02 I have given in the user session mode. Okay, I will show you. So that's why this is very important to understand. Okay, and here you can see that it got automatically finished. Come over here, click on this full screen, go here, click on this ABAP trace. You have the single file, so you can click on this ABAP trace also, right? If you have multiple file, then you can click over here and click on this merge combine and selected ABAP traces. But here you have single file only, right? Because you don't have plus option over here, that means single file. Come over here, ABAP traces, and here if you sort it in descending order, you can see that the program which I have run, which program I have run, this one. What is the name of this program? ZMB03 April demo 12. You can see there is no demo 12, right? So it has not captured. But if you could have selected the user or task option, it would have considered everything. That's what I didn't want that one. Generally, we have to trace the single transaction in one time, mm02, or means if we have to analyze some particular or a specific transaction. Okay, so this is the main thing. And in the schedule option, you can schedule, you can trace, for example, suppose if you have a job, let me go quickly and create a job. Go to AC38, and this is my program, and I want to run this program in a job. Okay, so how to create the job, go to /n sm36 transaction to create the job. Give the job name ZMB test. Okay, click on this test step option, and you have to give the name of the program over here. Okay, select this ABAP program and give the name of the program. If you have some variant in that program, you must have to give this variant, otherwise it will go into the job will get cancelled if you don't give the you know you don't give the uh, input parameter. So let me check if some input parameter is there. There is no input parameter, right? There is no parameter on the selection screen. It's good to execute without any parameter, so it's fine. We don't have to give any variant over here. And then click on the save button. That's it, and your job got created, and this is the job. Click on this start condition, come over here. I want to run only one time, uh, but let me start as of now. Give some periodic job, give this period value 5 minutes, like that. I will just give other period, give the 5 minutes over here. Click on the save button. Okay, come over here and click on once again on the save button. Okay, click once again on this save button. Once you click on this save button, okay, here you have to give the maybe you can use this immediate option. So it will start executing immediately, but I have made it a periodic also. Okay, with the 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Click on this save. Your job got scheduled. Okay, a start condition also you have specified, so it will get released. Click on the save, and now you can go to SM37 to monitor your job. Execute over here, and where is my job? Select on the schedule. Why it's not coming? Bafana 03 13/6 13/6, it is fine. Where it is? Okay, let me go and check SM36 once again, and this is the ZMB test was my job name. Okay, I think it was not saved properly. Click on the save button, come over here and go to this start condition. Okay, immediate. It seems it was not saved properly. Period value, you can see nothing is coming over here. And 5, click on the save button, click on the save button, click on the save button. Now it got, you can see now it is perfect. And now just go back and go to SM37. Now go to /o SM37 and execute this. You can see now this it is coming ZMB test. Okay, one ZMB test got finished as well. So after 5 minutes this will start working, because I have given 5 minutes. So 8:35 is the time now. At 8:40 you can see 8:35 is the time now. Now 8:40 it will again start executing. So what I will do, that I will schedule this one. So suppose if you have a long running job in a night or something like that, what you can do, that you can schedule that job. So I'm going to give the name of this job. Okay, username, if you want you can specify, program name and all. If you want to trace a particular program of a job, then you can give this particular program name over here. You know that in a job there can be multiple program, right? 5 program, 10 program, like that it can be. So if you want to trace a particular program, you can give a job name, and the name of the program you can give over here. Once you give the name of the program, what you will have to do, You just have to come, and here you can see the trace duration maximum is 4200 seconds. So maximum this trace will run for this much time. If you want to limit, like 50 seconds or 1 minute or 1 hour, so you can just give in the 3600 seconds. Okay, 1 minute I want, so I'll give or maybe 5 minutes, so 300 seconds I will just give. Okay, a start and delay, that's fine, there is no problem here. And you can see the check interval. What is this check interval? If you press F1, there is no documentation, fine. Check interval is nothing but after each 10 seconds, this is having a daemon tool. Daemon tool means a kind of supervisor tool. This tool will keep on supervising that this particular job has been started or not. So it will check on each 60 seconds. If we're going to check this 10 seconds, then it will check on each 10 seconds whether that particular job has been started or not. So after each 10 seconds till 300 seconds, it will check. Okay, and whenever it is going to get a start, then it will pick the trace, and then it will start tracing. Schedule the trace, click on this schedule trace, that's it. This much only you'll have to do, and you can see the master trace daemon is active, means your supervisor, the main program, is now active to capture the trace. Okay, so here you can see the checking for active and suitable batch job, right? It is just checking. Click on refreshing button, click on this, keep on clicking this refreshing button. Here also you can see that uh, you can check this, you can every time click on this refresh and you can check this particular status. Checking for active and suitable batch job, it is just checking. Okay, so actually, right, it has not taken, the reason behind my job has not been started till now, right? It is still in released status. When it will start? It will start at 5 minutes, means 8:40, 08:40 it will start. 8:38 is now, 8:39 is going to be, now 8:40 will there. Once the job will start, what will happen? The trace will get automatically started. Okay, you can check over here, and you can see the checking for active and suitable batch job, right? It's checking, it's still checking. Your master trace daemon is active, he is keeping an eye on this job, right? Whether it's going to be started or not. As soon as it will start, it will become active. Okay, it will become active. Just click on this activate button, and let me check if it has started or not. This is little tricky. Sometimes it does not capture also. That also I have seen. Okay. Come over here and come. So click on this refresh. 8:40 it has been there, but job is my release status. Till now it has not started. Okay. So 8:35:25 is there, means 8:45:25 it will, sorry, 8:40:25 it will start. It's in released status. Yeah, you can see that it has been delayed by 4 seconds, it's telling, because there is no there may not be some work processes or something like that, it will be available. That's why, it is not able to find any work process, that's why it is getting delayed. Okay, you can see it is getting delayed, right? So sometimes if you don't have the background work process available, then it will get delayed. Where to check background work process? Go to SM66 transaction, and here you have this. But you can see here we are having 1 2 3 4 background process available over here, right? It is in waiting state, it is in waiting state, means it is in free state. Okay, it is in free state, so there should not be any problem with respect to process availability. Okay, so let me check the job log. It is not showing anything. Why it's getting delayed? Why it's getting delayed? Go to here and refresh. No, I don't know why it's getting, because we are having, you can see waiting means available. Wherever the waiting you are able to see, that means your work process is available. Okay, so our, this is the BTC is nothing but the background. Okay, background work process. So this background work process is responsible for executing the background job. This update is for updating, to execute the update function module or to update any database record. This dialog work process, you can see this is for whatever we are taking the action on the screen, this is responsible for that particularly. Or if you are going to run any program in foreground, a dialog work process picks that one. Okay, but here I don't know why it's getting delayed. It should not be delayed, but here it is telling no free batch work processes available. But we are able to see that we are having 4 or 5 work processes, right? You can see that these many work processes we are having, correct? Why? Okay, there may be, let me check. This is the release, this is the finished. Just go back and execute this one, and we will see some another program is, running over there. Health check program is there, some another program it is consuming that work processes. Maybe this may be the possibility. Go and sort it. Okay, so this is the active. Some program is actually, it is telling that it's not able to find some, available work processes. You can see so many got failed. But one thing I'm not able to understand over here, as per my understanding, these are the, you know I'm sure that these are the batch work process, these are the background work process or batch work process, both is same. Okay, this is, these are the batch work processes are available, but there may be the possibility that they require some minimum work processes available, because some background work processes should be free. There should not be the case that all the work process should be consumed together. It is not possible. Okay, so the configuration will be done. So already we can see the one is getting consumed over here, right? And you can see over here, just refresh it, and it's getting some, this it's just checking, it's just waiting for some work process to get free. Okay, fine. So it's not getting the work process, that's what it is giving the information. So no problem, but this is how in actual system or in your development system you can check it over there, because my job is not getting started. That's why you can see still it is checking for the active and suitable batch job if it's going to match. So maybe I will show you what I can do, that already existing active job we can use. Okay, come over here. This is my active job, control Y. I will copy this job over here and click on this refresh button. This is active job, right? Come over here and give this job name, control V. This is the job name which is there, and it is fine. Okay, click on the schedule trace once again. Okay, and checking for this, I have to stop now. Stop this, so click on that, got stopped. This also just stop, it's fine. Okay, it is archived now. And then for this one I'm just going to schedule. The time is 8:32. No, the time, just what I will have to do, I'll have to go back. Okay, go to the schedule. Once again I will give this job name, that 46 to 23. Here give some time, something like 46 to, or maybe we can give some 55 minutes will be fine. Okay, and here also you can give the 300 seconds, right? Then check interval 10 seconds will be fine. Click on the schedule trace, come over here, and yeah, now it has been, schedule master daemon trace is active. Click on this refresh button, and you can just trace is active. Our trace is active. A status can be seen. Trace for is active. Come over here. Start delay. It is, created by this. Your trace is active over here. And ABAP trace switched on for the work process. This, right, because it matches that criteria. You can see the green symbol is coming over here. So once again, now we realize that you wanted to take only for 5 minutes or something like that. Then what you can do, put the cursor over here, click on this stop trace. Your trace got stopped. Just go back, and after some time you will see over here. Okay, after some time you will be able to see, you can see, uh, this is for the custom enhancement. Now it will collect the trace from there and it will put over here. Okay, here you will get the, you can see, this is my, the last one. It's getting collected now. Okay, after some time you will be able to go and check the ABAP trace over here. So this is how you can do in the background. So this was all about the ST12 transaction. It will be very useful. You should know about this transaction. You can do some hands-on this if you are not getting real time, a real time hands-on on this particular transaction. You can create some custom program, or if you are having already some custom program, you can try working with ST12. It's a very useful transaction. Now let's go ahead. We have seen all the important transaction, ST12, then another transaction, STAD, ST03, right, ST05, SC30, SC, SAT, and SAT12. All these things we have seen in detail, how we can use this from the performance point of view, right? uh, One thing I missed to show you over there, come over here and go to this full screen, and here that trace got, you can see that it got collected over here. Some error was there. You can see that RABAX occurred, some error got occurred, but there is no problem. You can go and you can use this ABAP trace. Okay, now you have other option also over here, the performance traces. If you want to check for the earlier traces about the performance traces, you can click on this performance trace, and it will tell you which particular select query has taken maximum time. Okay, you can come over here and you can check the select query here, the duration. You can come duration and put the filter in the descending order. So click on this expand button. Okay, and come over here, and here you can see this particular select statement is taking maximum time, but this is just, you can check over here whether this is from the custom program or standard program. Double click over here and you can see that it is, this is particular, select query. It is telling about that, it is telling the detail about the select query. It is not telling me the particular ABAP place. Particular ABAP place also we can see. I think we'll have to click over here. Yeah, this is the, this is the place from where that select query is getting triggered, and this is taking the maximum time. But this is the standard program. We cannot, we will not be able to do anything over here. Okay, so just leave it. Similarly, we can identify by double clicking over here that this is the standard program, right? We can check about our program. Come over here and put the filter over here, Z star or Y star. Come over here and give Y star, Y or Z program. Y or Z is our customer namespace, right? So Y star or Z star, I'm going to give it over here, and then clicking over here, and you can see that this is the 336, 331, 170. So maybe first two you can, like first 10, first 10 you can consider for the performance optimization. In real time you'll be having a lot many. You can consider the first 10. Click over here, double click over here, and you can see that this is the particular place which is taking the time, but here nothing, you cannot do anything. right? So similarly, you can double click and it will tell you which particular place that particular query, or you know or that particular. So here there is no select query, right? This is taking only the SAP progress indicator, right? So there is no select query, so there is no scope. In real time, you will be having when the good example, good program, a big program, you will be able to take its advantage and you will be able to do the performance optimization, right? Fine. Here if you want to see the execution trace, here this is the execution plan. It will tell you how at the database layer this query is going to be executed. Just I will explain some of this so you can relate yourself. Okay. Let me check some simple select query so that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, or let me go back, just go back. See, again it is coming ST05, right? I'm going back, so it is just nothing but it's a big brother of ST12 and SC30. ST12 come once again, and here we are having the MM02 custom enhancement. Leave this one. MB28 demo, this is my custom program, right? This was my custom program. So what I will do, I will use this one. Okay, and come this not this one actually, just go back, just go back and use this performance trace. Expand this one, select all this, click on this performance trace. Okay, and come here. Now go into descending. This is my you can see this is my custom program ZMB April demo 03, and in this program I have a select query over here on the Mara table, right? You can see that this is my Mara table. I have put the select query for this program. This the Mara actual select query on the Mara table. I want to see it's just come over here, and this is the query I have written. Okay, so it is telling this place. Now I want to see the execution plan, how it has been executed at the database layer. Go here and click on this particular button. Okay, so here the first option you can see the FDA read. That means for that Mara table, for that particular select query, a fast data access mode is enabled. We have already discussed about the fast data access mode. What is this fast data? What is this? What is this fast data access mode? We have already discussed, right? This is the material number. This is the field which I am selecting from the database table. So this is what it is: material number, date, mtart, and mbrsh matkl. From which table? Mara. Where condition it is telling you about, right? And here you can see this is the SQL statement. This is your execution plan. In operation, what operation it is performing? First it is performing the column search, right? First it has to select about the column, right? This column. So it has searched about the column. Once it found the column, right, it is finding about the table. You can see this table it has found, and then the where condition, this is the filter criteria. So this is the execution plan. It is there written on the database, and this is how database has executed. So you can see over there some complex you can take. Let me show you some complex one. Here this is the same. If you understand that one, it is going to be same. Here you can see some index it is considering, right? It is telling about the index. It is looking for the index. Okay, so if some index will be there, it will, some secondary index you have created, you will be able to see over here whether it is considering some secondary index or not. Here this is again your field, right? Here a star I am using. Here they have used the star, that's why it is showing you all the fields. So database does not understand a star. Database has to take all the field. Okay, and limit is 1, so up to 1 rows will be there. If you see, there will be either select single or up to 1 row. That's why the limit it is telling 1 row. And unique index search, right? So if there is a secondary index, then it will just going to you know take that one. So something like that you can analyze. Go next, and we are having ST12. We have completed SQLM, SQLMD, and SWLT. Very important. Once again, this particular transaction and the benefit of this transaction we will understand. Okay, come over here, Control V, Control Z and Control V. So now, till now, what we have seen that till now we have seen about conventional method, about the conventional method of taking the trace. Okay, but NetWeaver 7.0, NetWeaver 7.20 onwards, some SPS 08, I think, I'm not sure about this support pack service, which exactly, but NetWeaver 7.50, 20, this was the release in which this tool got introduced. Okay, so the guideline, general guideline for this particular, you know, trace is, we already know, which experienced over here, that we are not supposed to, we are not supposed to enable the trace into the production, enable the trace into the production system, right? Why? What is the problem? Because if we are going to, can you tell me, any one of you, can you tell me why we are not supposed to enable the trace into the production system? Any idea why we are not supposed to enable the trace into the production system? Anyone, any input over here in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic, you can unmute your line, and you can just speak over here. Any idea? Shiva, you are there, Shiva?
Yeah. Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. So you have any idea why we are not supposed to, or Muthu, you have any idea why we are not supposed to enable the trace in the production system? Okay, fine. So it seems uh okay, some
Maybe
yeah.
there were any background programs running. Actually, I have not tried it actually
Okay.
in
Yeah,
production, so
no
I'm not
problem.
sure.
Yeah, okay. So actually we are not supposed to enable the trace into the production system. The reason behind this is, the very first reason, that your production will get slow. Your production system will get slow. That's why you have to take various authorization. In some organization, you cannot apply the trace directly in production system. You must have to take various authorization from, the upper level lead, or some system owner, or some that who is from the system administrator, that you want to take the trace. Okay, so you have to take various authorization from different people, from different management or system people, to take the authorization trace, to take. Why this authorization is required? Because it slows down your system performance, and the actual user may face the issue. So generally, if we have to take the trace, what we do, that in night or non-business hour, in a non-business hour in non-business hour, we schedule the trace, we schedule the trace. Okay, so if we're going to use what, if we're going to use this conventional technique what we have used over here. Okay, so this is the conventional technique we have. Like, let me put these slides over here. So if you have this conventional technique, you must have to do, you have to take all this permission, general guideline. Okay, because because it slows down your system. But now with this tool SQLMD, SWLT, it will not hamper your production system performance. The reason behind it is implemented directly at ABAP kernel level. This transaction implementation has been done directly at the ABAP kernel level, and it is optimized. Okay, and it works also asynchronously. So what is the meaning of asynchronously? So the meaning of asynchronous means, let me explain over here. Uh, okay, okay, I've already pasted on the okay, I can close this one. It's there on the PPT. I will show you over there. I have prepared some content about this SQLM in morning. So just let me close this. Okay. So what is the meaning of asynchronous? We'll, we will understand the meaning of asynchronous over here. Suppose you have a report. Suppose you have a report called Z test, and here you have written some select query, select star from Mara or something like that. You have written some another select as a star from Marcy table. Then again you have written some select star from EKKO table. So like that you have written multiple select in a program, and some logic, of course it will be there, some logic. There is no meaning of simply putting the select. So here you have some logic you have written, right? Here also, so in logic maybe I will just write it over here, some read statement you have written, read something like this. Okay, again you have written some loop statement over here, again you have written some if statement over here. Okay, so now if we're going to enable the trace, okay, now if we're going to enable the trace, and if your trace is synchronous, if your trace is synchronous, what the problem you will be having? Your system performance is going to be very, very slow. How it's going to be slow? Because the synchronous means first it will execute this select star underscore Mara, and because it has to take the trace, parallelly one program should be there, right? Parallelly one program should be there which will put the pointer over here, start time, right? And some start, it will start the timing, and it will take how much time has been taken for this particular select query. That's why the data gets collected over there on the output screen in the log trace, right? A start and end timing will be there. Now this will be there also in a program, this particular execution. So this is the total time, which particular select query, right? What was the execution plan, right? What was the performance measurement? So different option we are able to see over here, right? If we are collecting the trace, if we are collecting the trace, we are able to see the different ABAP trace, performance traces, trace, SQL trace summary, the database hit. So how it's happening actually, how it's happening? So there is some program which is capturing all this data, right? So I'm talking about that program over here. So this is, you can understand something like, this is some program we are having. This is some program, some trace program. And if your trace program is going to run synchronously, what will happen? The synchronously means first your select a star from Mara will get trigger, and it will wait for this trace program to get complete, right? And once your trace program will get complete, once your this trace program will get complete, then what will happen, that the control will come. Just 1 second. So once this your trace program will get completed, right, so the control will now come over here. Okay, that means the synchronous. And now the control will come to this next read statement. Okay, again this read statement will be executed, and trace will be started for this particular statement. Trace will be started for this particular statement by this program. Okay, and again control will come over here. Okay, and then it will go to the next statement over here. So it will first statement will be executed and captured by the trace program, then it will go to the next statement. Okay, again it will be captured by the program, then it will go. So it will wait for the program to capture the trace, then it will go to the next step, otherwise it will wait. Okay, so what it will do, if it is synchronously, it will hamper the system performance, right? Because there will be so many lines of code in a program, right? It will obviously hamper the system performance, right? But if you have a asynchronous trace option, so what will happen in asynchronous trace, right? What will happen in asynchronous trace? So in asynchronous trace, what will happen, that your control from this program, from this statement to from the first select star statement to read statement, and from read statement to select star statement, will not wait for this program to get complete. Okay, this program will run asynchronously, means parallelly. This program will run parallelly. Okay, asynchronous, you can understand also parallel. That means when the first statement got executed, one another thread got opened. That means one another work process got opened, one another task got opened, and that started collecting this particular statement, you know, in that thread. And it is not waiting for that particular thread to get complete, that their output is going to get collected in some a different, you know, memory, or some in different buffer area. That is not so. This particular statement will not wait for this particular trace to get complete. It is doing its own job. Then without waiting its output, it will move towards to the next statement, again to next statement. It will keep on executing, and parallelly the trace will start, you know, parallelly the trace will start executing. The parallel trace is going to be happen. So that is known as the asynchronous trace or the parallel tracing. Okay, so hope it's clear now, and we will go once again to the system, and I will put this particular slides over here. Control V. So here this is the synchronous step by step, right? And this is the asynchronous. So might just for your reference, I'm putting over here. It's not very clear for this diagram, both, because both have put in together. Okay, but I hope you understood. Once you will see this diagram, you will be able to understand. Synchronous means a step, means first it will get run, then it will wait for to complete this one, then it will come to this, right? That is the synchronous. Okay, this is the synchronous. And the asynchronous means, you know, asynchronous means the parallel. Asynchronous means it's going to run in parallel. Yeah, asynchronous is going to run. Fine, just save it and come over here uh, into the SQLM. Yeah, okay, so into the SQLM. Now we are going to, so we are talking about this SQLM. So what this SQLM is doing for us, this SQLM is doing for us that it will run asynchronously, right? I have written somewhere, just let me check this SQLM. Okay, so okay, so this we required, uh, we got SQLM over here, and this is going to run, this will be running parallelly or asynchronously. This is one benefit. Another, if you have the asynchronously, if you have the static code check, right, we have the option of a static code check, right? So what is the static code check? We have seen we have the static code check like SCI, right? Code inspector, and then ATC. These are the static code check. This static code check will not tell you that which particular, because see, if you have the large program, you will get so many trace collected over there, right? If you have the large program, so if you go to SE38, and if we are going to run this program, go to and check and code inspector, right, run this one, you can see that here there is no problem, right, there is no error, but in generally you will get lot of problem. Okay, generally you will get lot of problem. So let me check basic report expression and operator. Maybe I will try with this. Okay, program, just go back, display program, and check code inspector. Here's some problem we are getting, but generally it comes so many problem if you have the large program. Okay, so here it will tell you the big list, right? So suppose if you have 1,000 findings or 10,000 findings, it is not possible to correct all those findings. So in that case, you will have to prioritize which particular findings you have to take care first, and how you will prioritize. Okay, that's the question, how you will prioritize the finding. So in prioritizing the findings, this SQLM is going to help you how to prioritize the findings to optimize the code, right, to optimize the code. Okay, so I will just put in a green color. Okay, so this is the two benefit you are going to get. One, that it is going to run asynchronously, and it is also optimized at ABAP layer. It is also optimized at ABAP kernel layer. Okay, this ST12 and ST05 is not optimized uh, that much with respect to SQLM. If we're going to compare SQLM and ST12, SQLM is lot optimized at ABAP kernel layer, because they were facing the problem ST12 ST05 we cannot enable in production. Okay, but this can be enabled in production, there is no problem, right? Probably we don't have to take the authorization also to enable the trace and all. Okay, because there is no database overhead, there is no system overhead if we're going to enable this SQLM. But before ST05 and ST05 and ST12 or SAT, we have to be careful a lot, right? We have to be careful a lot, it will hamper the system performance. But for this SQLM transaction you don't have to bother, right? Similarly, STAD transaction, you cannot enable the trace for STAD in the directly production. Whatever we have discussed, all this transaction over here, previously, it it cannot be all the below transaction is for trace purpose only, but it's very costly. It's very costly to enable into production system, right? You have to take you have to take several authorization. You have to take several authorization. Okay, so come over here. So this is the problem with this, right? It will not prioritize your list. All these transaction will not tell you which statement or which SQL statement or which part of code you have to fix first, which part of code you have to fix first, right? However, this STAD transaction, or this two transaction may give you some idea that which you can prioritize, but the problem with this is it's going to be very costly, right? In production, this also you can use for the from the prioritization point of view, but in production, that's the problem with this. Okay, that is the problem. So just I will mark it over here. This particular, you know, this particular two transaction you can use for prioritization purpose, that is possible, but it is very costly. Okay, it can be used for prioritization purpose. It can be used for prioritization because it will tell you, how many times the SQL query and all has been called prioritization purpose, but it's very costly in the production. That's why generally we don't use this one, right? So all the below, like this SC30, this uh, SC30, all this transition, this is fine. Now over here, and then you have the code inspector. Below are the static code checks. So these are the purely static code checks. It will not prioritize your SQL or your program code inspector, or you have the ATC, right? Code inspector or ATC, it will not prioritize which particular transaction you have to correct first. Okay, so that's the problem with all this. But all the existing transaction is having some or less, more or less problem, but with the help of this SQLM, right, all that existing problem is going to be vanished, going to be solved. Okay, so how to do this one, how it helps actually, what it will tell you, that it will help you to understand your SQL profile. I have written over here what actually it will do. SQL monitor tools gives the answer for below questions. Okay, which select in the customer code is executed most frequently in your system, right? So which is going to be frequently most used code, that we will put first care, right? That we will watch the I over there, correct? Why to put the unnecessary I, which is going to get less, suppose if you are having the thousands such a statement, which in which only 5 statements is going to get first or mostly executed, so I will consider those 5 statements first, right? I will take care later of 995 statements. So that's the benefit. Another benefit, which select statements cause the longest runtime, it will tell you. Which select in the customer code reads the most data, right? So these can be done with the help of ST12 ST05 also, but that will take the time, right? Here the same thing you can achieve. Okay, this all together here. For this first one, you will have to go to STAD transaction, but here together you are in one shot, all the achievement, all the performance gain, everything you are getting. That's why SQLM is so popular tool nowadays. right? So which select statement cause the longest runtime, which select in the customer code reads the most data, and what is the SQL profile of your report. Like means in a report how many SQL query has been called. SQL profile means in a single report how many SQL query has been called. Okay, so that's the SQL profile and how it looks like. And here you can see it takes only less than 3% overhead. So suppose that is taking 100 hours, then it will take only 3 hours, right? Less than 3%. So the earlier technique was taking suppose 100 hours extra time, it will take only 3 hours. So that's why it does not create overhead. It's a very good tool. Okay, come over here. Why SQL is not burden on the system? See, the data collection of the SQL monitor is complete, is implemented directly in the ABAP kernel in a highly optimized manner to ensure that live operation of the SAP system is not disrupted. But earlier tool is not optimized that much. Earlier tool will create problem. And then the second one is asynchronous collection. Just we have understood. The third slide is telling that how to enable. This is the basis work. We don't have to do anything, just for your knowledge I have created these slides. So if you want to enable the SQLM, right, means if you want to enable the SQLM feature in your system, then what you can do, that you can go to RZ11 and there is a parameter called this ABAP slash SQLM slash main underscore switch. You can put the value on as a switch. So here you can go to RZ11 parameter. It will be already there on in this system. I have checked, it is already there on. That's why I'm able to use this feature. And this is ABAP slash SQLM, ABAP slash SQLM, ABAP, ABAP small, I have to write ABAP slash SQLM slash some switch was there, main underscore switch. Okay, main underscore switch. Click on this display and you can see that further selection criteria on off. You can see that kernel default on, default profile on, so it is on. Right now, how to use this SQLM tool? So what you will have to do, you have to go to the transaction called SQLM. Okay, come over here and here you have to activate the trace for all the, so you have to go into the production server, right? You have to go into the production server. So what the step you will have to follow, just I will document it for the better understanding. Okay, so the first step what you will have to do, you have to enable the trace in production server. So why I'm choosing the production? Because the actual business happens in the production only, right? Production server. So why I'm talking about, why I'm telling about that we have to enable this trace in the production, because we are having the actual business over there in the production server. So I want to check, suppose I have a, suppose I have a, let's suppose I have a program. Okay, I have a program, or suppose I have a select query, right? I have a select, I have a select query, select some field, right? Field one, or maybe I'm going to take Matner, my favorite table, Matner mtart, right? And from Mara into some table. Okay, and some where condition if it is there. Okay, so now I just want to check this particular select query has been called from how many places. So this particular select query can be called, you know, this particular select query can be called from a report also. It can be called from a function module also. This can be called from a batch job also, right? So this can be called from a report also, right? This can be called from a batch job also, and this can be called from your function module also, right? And there can be so many entry points. These are known as the entry points. These are your different entry points which can call this particular SQL query. Okay, so I am telling about like this, I want to know my this particular select query has been called from how many places. Similarly, I can have multiple select query. I want to know all those entry points and how many times it has been called, right? So from report, suppose some user is going to run this report with the help of transaction 1,000 times, right? On this function module, it is going to get executed some 1,000 times, and then this batch job is going to get executed something, suppose 2,000 times, right? Or 20,000 times, okay, in the actual scenario. So how many total times this particular select query got executed, right? So you can see here the total time 10,000, 20,000 and 1,000. It will become your total hit for this particular SQL query is going to happen 31,000 times, right? So similarly, you have some another select query, right? Similarly, you have some another select query, right? So on some Mara table, select a star from Marcy table. From Mara, I have already checked, right? From Marcy table, I have to check. So this also is going to call from this report, from some batch job and from some function module. So let us suppose this is going to call something like only 100 times, right? And here some 50 times, and here also 50 times. So this SQLM tool will tell a particular select query has been hit from how many times it has been hit, right? So it will tell you the actual count. So here in this case the total is how much? In this case, if you see, the total is 100 plus 50 plus 50, it is a 200 only. So for all the select query you will get the count like this. Now it will be easy for you to prioritize. So you will give the first priority for this particular total 31,000. That means for this particular select query you are going to give the priority, and you will take care of this particular select query whether it is optimized or not. Okay, or the program from which it has been called, do you have to take care that program whether this select query has been called inside a loop, right? So or whether that function module has been called inside a loop which is calling this particular select query. So we have to take care of this particular select query first, right? So it prioritize the things, it will give you this particular detail. That's the beauty of this SQLM tool. So what you can do, and you can see that you can enable in all the servers. So this is also a system wide tool, you can enable in all the server. Click on this, or if you want to select some specific server, that is also option over here. You can see this select server option is there. Click on this OK button. Okay, it got activated now. Now what you can do that, uh, here once your SQL monitor is activated, okay, so here you also have the option like if you want to activate this during a weekend also, you can activate during the weekdays also, you can activate when your big when your maximum business is going to get performed. So generally it will be there in the weekdays, right? So during the weekdays you can enable this one, and you can check which particular select query is going to get executed mostly, or what is the SQL profile of your report, right? So like that you can check, this information can be checked from this by enabling this one. So what it will do actually, when you have enabled this particular SQLM monitor trace option, by enabling, if some user is going to call this program, it will capture that program. Okay, it will capture that program, it will capture the SQL. Is it the same thing like I have enabled in ST12 or ST05? I have enabled the trace, it is the same thing. Okay, once you, after a week, you realize that okay, now you should off the trace, or after one day you have realized that okay fine, this data is sufficient for me, this much trace is sufficient for me, then what you can do, you can come over here and you can click on this display data. Okay, first you have to deactivate it, now no more required, right? And click on this display data, come over here, and you can give the time span of 1 week. Okay, here you can see that time series also available over here. right? For the 6 days, for the 60 minutes, 1 hour, for the 24 hours, that means 1 day. For that 41 24 hours, it's a 1 day, right? So like that, for the 6 days it is giving 1 hours, which it seems wrong. It should be something 1 week, like that. Okay, for 60 minutes, 1 hours, it is fine. So like that, you have to, you know, uh, select. And here you can see that this is why it is coming, because already last week I have enabled that trace, and today morning I have deactivated, just to show you. Okay, so many data is there which has been traced, and that can be seen from here. But I'm not interested in the, you know, the standard object, right? I am interested because I can't do anything with the standard one, correct? So I have to take care about the G object. So what I will do that here, I will use the Z star. Okay, sorry, object name. I will use the Z star, press F8 over here, and now it will tell you about the Z object. You can see these are my G program which has been called maximum times, right? So here you can come, and the DB execution, you can sort it by the DB execution. You can see that 1000 times has been called this particular program, right? This particular program has been called 1000 times. See, so many times it has been called, right? So I will prioritize my this program because it has been called 1000 times. Similarly, the another program batch OIA, this two program has been called 1000 times, 1000 times, both is same program, right? Together it will be 2000. Now the 50, you can see this is the 50 times. So if you just come over here, and if you want to check, okay, just double click. Okay, it's not going. So what I will do that, program not found, it is telling that program so not found. Maybe this program has been deleted or modified, but another program, this is also, it is telling not found. Why? Yeah. Okay, so the first one is there. You can see this program is there. Some modification if you are going to do after this trace, it will not consider. Okay, so here you can see the other is working fine. So you can see that it is telling you the overall idea that how many times this program got executed, and you can consider those program for your optimization purpose, for your code optimization purpose. Those particular programs can be selected, right? So that's the beauty of this SQLM tool. And there will be no system overhead also. That is also one more point. Okay, now am I audible to you? Hello, anyone of you can confirm?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, 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 fine. So here you can see that, and this is a select query. It is telling which part of code is there with the select query, right? Here you can see this is the, and it will tell you at which position the select query has written. Okay, so 55. Okay, you can see there at the 55th place it has been written. So like that, it will help us to identify, right? And there will be you know, db you can see that db execution is 1000, means in this particular program 1000 times your SQL query has been called. And if you want to check how many times this particular record, this particular program has been called, that will be also one internal session. There will be one, you can see this internal session. Internal session means how many times your program got executed. Okay, so actually here I was telling you about this number of program. This is not a number of program. You can see this is a db execution. That means how many times SQL query has been executed. So in this program, 1000 times your SQL query got executed, right? Again in this program 1000 times. And if you want to check how many times this program has been executed, so internal session, some option was there, that internal sessions tells you that how many times that program got executed, because all the programs runs in a session, right? So for one program, one session typically it will be there. So that's why we can understand, you can see that 1000 times typically that program got called. So from here we can optimize which particular you know, which particular statement we have to take care of first, which particular program we have to take care first, by putting this db execution, or you can db meantime we are having, right? So from this also you can sort it and you can check which you have to take first. So this particular program ZMB03 April demo 22 is taking so much time for a single select query. So it is taking for the single db meantime is for a single select query, the time has been taken. It has, but it has run only one time, right? And you can check the internal session how many times this program has called, right? So you can check only one time. So maybe you can ignore, there is no problem. So like that you will have to check which is going to be your important point of concern, right? So your internal session, if it is going to be more, right, internal session, this, put the uh, cursor over here and select sort it, right? So these two program you have to consider mostly, right? Because thousand times it is getting called, and if it is having some problem, most of the user is going to face this issue, because maximum usable program is this one. So this is how we have to determine the priority, and there are so many options also. You can check this option over here, right? Mean db records, how much records found. There is no records, there is no records found with this select query, and it is taking this much time. So what's the purpose of using this select query? We have to take a look on this particular report. You can go and take a look whether it is running unnecessarily, or there is certainly some meaning is there. So that can be also one aspect of checking. Okay, so like that we can check db meantime. Just we have understood total db record, how much total db records got, you know, in total sql execution, right? So total it was 11,058 records. How many times your sql query got executed? 50 times. Divide this 11,058 by 50, you will get this much. Okay, divide again this records by total db execution, means 24 times your sql query got called, 50 times your sql query got calls. Okay, so these are, and the internal session, these are the two important aspect you have to check, and based upon that, you know, you have to take the decision, right? Once you get this data, what you will have to do, you have to download it. Okay, you have to export it, you have to export it. Click on this export button, and because you know all these things where you are doing, you are going to do in the production server, right? All this trace and all you are going to do into the production server. Am I right? Yes, you are going to do into the production server. So SQLM trace you have to get from the production server. SQLM trace you have to get from the production server. Then you have to dump this trace where? You have to dump this trace in your development system. That will be the better place where you can analyze your code also, right? So you can put your code into the development system. Okay, development server. Then in development server itself, over here in development server, you can enable, you know, the code inspector. It's fine over here if you are going to enable the code inspector, right? Because it is a static check, right? Whatever the code you are having in the development server, the same code will be there in the test and production. So you can do the static code check, static code check, where? In dev server, and you can combine both the result together. Okay, you can combine both this result, this sql trace, whatever trace you have got over here, get over here the sql trace result. So how to get? You can import into this development server. How to import? I will tell you. sql trace by sqlm, you will get into this development server, and the in the development server you are already having this static code check. What you will do, you will combine together both, and you will analyze over there. with the help of transaction SWLT. Okay, so this is again one important transaction you are having. I will quickly show you what you will have to do. Click on this export button. Whatever the data you have collected, just you have to, just write it over here, test MB28 test, save it. Okay, so you have downloaded the data into your desktop. Okay, into your desktop, and now you come into your development server and log in into that and open the SWLT transaction. Come over here in SWLT transaction, and what you will have to do that you have to select the package, right? Which package you want to analyze. Okay, so, or if you want to analyze all the package, that is also fine. That is also fine. So generally I'm interested in the JADE report, so I'm just going to use the JADE report over here. Okay, and then go to the static check. Under the static check, we are having the code inspector and ABAP test cockpit option. Okay, anyone you can choose. I'm choosing as of now code inspector. Select inspection result, and here already we have performed in our last classes about some static check, right? How to perform the static check. We know that we go into this /o sci transaction, and here we first, if variant is necessary, we create the variant, then we create the object set, and based upon the object set we perform the inspection. Okay, so you can go through my last class video, and there you will be able to understand in detail, or last to last class video. Okay, so here select the inspection list. It will be automatically over here. If you have created some inspection list from the SCI transaction, select from here whichever you want to select, and you want to compare with this, and you want to combine with the SQL monitor. Okay, now what you will do that you will come over here, manage or create a snapshot. Okay, and here this file import, already on desktop you have this particular file ZMB28 test zip. Select this one and click on this create a snapshot. Okay, it will create a snapshot for SQL monitor. Okay, it got created. You can see a snapshot fully got successfully imported, and you can see here this is the latest one. 2772 records is there in this. This is the latest one, right? Just go back, and now again just go back, no, come over here and go to this coverage analyzer and run this. Okay, run this. Once you run this, you will be able to see that, here all the data together 1005 times it is coming. 1005 time it is coming, means 1005 times the DB execution has been happened, right? And here SQL monitor result, SQLM, and here a static check in this particular window. This is for, this is for a static check. The data will be shown from here, the code inspector, and here the data will be shown from the SQL monitor. So what will happen now, if you, now you have to, based upon this DB execution, I'm going to short it, right? So you can see this particular, what I found with this SWLT, this tool is for SQL performance tuning worklist. Remember, sometimes in interview they will ask, okay, what is the transaction for SQL performance tuning worklist, and what is the use of this, SWLT transaction or SQLM transaction. This is the expected interview question. Okay, so why SQLM is so popular, right? We have to tell we can use in this production. Why we can use in production? Because it is optimized at ABAP layer and it runs asynchronously. So this answer will have to tell over there. Now if you select this one, double click over here, you can see that from the SQL monitor it is telling that from the batch job and the submit report, two times from the two places it has been called, right? You can see that two places it has been called. Okay, but here code inspector, a static code finding is telling everything is perfect in this, you don't have to take care. So fine, we cannot do anything over here. It's okay, because all the code and everything is fine. We cannot do anything. This has to take, this has to take, no other way. Now moving ahead, you will get some places where, this is the demo system on some small program, so there is no finding. Okay, but here you can see that one finding we have found over here in SQLM, right? And here corresponding to this particular report, what we can optimize. So here it is telling the analysis of where condition for select. It is telling S4 HANA large Mara table no field of. So it is combining the result and showing you together, right? So from here you have to identify the priority. Okay, from here you have to, from left side you have to identify the priority by putting the, here the doing the filtering or doing the sorting. You have to identify the priority, and once you identified the priority, you have to identify from the right hand side lower this static check where you can optimize your code, right? So this is an awesome tool with the help of which what you can do that you can identify which priority list you have to, if you double click it will tell you the detail, you know detail problem. Just double click over here, sorry, here you can see the check message is telling, right? Double click over here or single click, it will take you to this particular program where the problem is there, right? Come back. So similarly you can check for some another finding also, right? So keep on checking. You can see that some, so no need of check all these things. Take some 20 or 100, top 100 or top 200. Total it is taking 114 findings, right? So out 114 findings, in your actual scenario you may get some 10,000 findings. So you have to first fix 100 findings or 200 findings from the top based upon this DB execution or based upon the internal session, right? You will be having the internal session also over here. So uh, at the upper level you are going to have, in this section you are having SQL monitor finding, right? So here just I'm trying to find that internal session one. uh, Here it's not the internal session one. I think we'll have to change this layout. Okay, come over here, manage layout, no layout, find, change layout. Okay, and data source, this processing block line, internal session we have or not processing. So here I think it is not there, but it was there, right? In SQLM it was there. So no worries, we have so many option over here, right? Based upon that DB execution, DB mean time we are having, right? Mean records we are having, the program performance, right? So based upon this criteria, DB max time, which particular query is getting the most time. So you can see that this S4 HANA is a large DB max time. Maybe we can go over here and we can try, right? So here we can see and we can go and we can optimize this query if there is some possibility. If it is finding that, it does not mean that you must have to, you will be certainly able to, buffering type. You can see this table is not buffered, so maybe once you can think about the buffering if it is suitable, right? So you can enable the buffer if there is some G table or something like that, and the buffering approach, what is the buffering approach, what we have to take care while doing the buffering. So thinking all this time you will get lot of information. You can see this is the processing block, right? Start of selection means where that particular query has been written. System exit at selection screen, this is just a type abbreviation of this one. Get descriptive data, this is the form. Selection screen, start of selection, form, starts. So the type is also given over here. So many information is given over here. Based upon this information, mostly what I believe that, and what I have done in the past, that based upon the DB execution I have sorted it, and mostly the based upon the DB execution, and from there the internal session, how many a particular program has been called, mostly based upon this criteria and based upon this DB min criteria I have used. Okay, so like this you can do in your real-time development. Okay, and you can optimize with this. Our SQLM topic has been closed. Okay, and the tracing profile and everything till here it has been closed. So now what we will do that from tomorrow onwards, we will start a new topic. Maybe from tomorrow we can start information model. Okay, after completion of information model we will learn about the AMDP in detail. First we will learn the SQL script, and then we will learn about the AMDP. once our information model gets completed, right? So these are the things, and then we will learn about the CDS, fuzzy search, ALV IDA, right? Then how we can integrate Fury app with the CDS. So if we are going to develop some CDS in backend, how we can integrate, how we can pass the data from the CDS to that Fury app. That also we will see. Okay, so let's meet tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll start from the information model. Before information model, we will create one program for the OIA scenario, okay, with the help of OpenSQL statement OIA scenario. So we will define the requirement first, for this OIA scenario, and then what we will do, that we will do the code push down. We will do the code push down with the help of OpenSQL, with the help of OpenSQL, right? So many advanced technique we have learned in OpenSQL, right? So we'll do the code push down with the help of OpenSQL, and we will observe the performance gain, right? We'll observe the performance gain with the help of OpenSQL, okay? So and then we will start learning about the information model. Okay, fine, then let's meet on the let's meet tomorrow. If you have any question, please feel free to ask, feel free to discuss any question if you have. Fine, then, bye bye, have a nice day, take care.
I think you can stop the recording. I mean, I got that server mail right now, so I will check and tell you. I mean, whether it's